for Dick Vitale and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching. Let's go back to John Saunders.
Had gone 3-0 in Big Ten play. With the arrival of the 90s, history again repeats itself. Week 1 of the Big Ten season began with the opener in Madison against Wisconsin as Ken Redfield and Kirk Mans ran the Badgers ragged on the break as the Spartans blow out a less than pesky Badger squad. Premier sharpshooter Steve Smith returned to a much healthier lineup for MSU on Thursday, and the Spartan break again ran wild, challenging the Ohio State team. But Perry Schickman led the way with 6 first-half points, and Matt Stegiga dominated the inside as Michigan State blew past a somewhat troublesome Buckeye squad. Then on Saturday night, they once again dominated the court with spectacular passing and control in another impressive victory, this time against the once proud Iowa Hawkeyes. Suddenly, the Spartans are 3-0 in the Big Ten Conference. Tonight, they face what will be their greatest challenge to date as the green and white head into Assembly Hall in Champaign to take on high-scoring sophomore sensation Kendall Gill and the Fighting Illini that took a powerful Wolverine squad to the final buzzer before giving in to mighty Michigan Monday night. Tonight, the Spartans look to keep their Big Ten record spotless as they take on the Fighting Illini in Assembly Hall, where they haven't posted a victory since 1986. It's Michigan State and Illinois next on Raycom Sports. Tonight's Michigan State-Illinois game is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By True Value Hardware Store. Make True Value Hardware your store of first choice. By the Michigan State Lottery. The Michigan State Lottery supports education. Live from Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois, it's the Michigan State Spartans against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Hi, everybody. This is Larry Osterman along with Greg Kelser. Welcome to tonight's game. Michigan State, 1/2 game behind the leading Purdue Boilermakers in the race for the Big Ten title. The Boilers are 4-0 after the win against Wisconsin last night, and the Spartans will try to move up to 4-0 this evening. Illinois, a great ball club last year, lost some great talent, but they're still pretty good.
They are good, and they still boast perhaps the best backcourt in the nation in Bardo and Gill. These are two players that can do a lot of things extremely well. Bardo's a fine defensive player, and he leads the team, and he takes care of the basketball. He goes to the offensive glass very well. Gill is perhaps their best perimeter shooter, and that's an area where Illinois has to have good play tonight because Michigan State will look to take their inside game away and force them to hit from the outside, something they did not do very well in their loss the other night against Michigan.
Yeah, Illinois had won 28 consecutive games here at Assembly Hall before Michigan knocked them off. Michigan State hasn't won here since 1986, but the Spartans are gathering momentum and they're gathering some confidence.
Perhaps a good time to come in if you're Michigan State because you do have that momentum on your side. Now, the keys to victory for Michigan State, and this isn't me, this is what their coaching staff said, they have to keep their turnovers down because they know that Illinois thrives on turnovers and fast break points. They've got to go to the glass well and pay particular attention to Bardo and Gill, and then they've got to be patient on offense. Now, one thing I'd like to note is Kirk Mans. He's a player that Michigan State has depended on in their first three Big Ten games, and right now he's leading the conference in scoring. Now, in 2 losses versus Illinois last year, Mans only scored 2 points. I think that in order for them to win tonight on this floor, he has to have a big night.
It may be asking too much for Steve Smith to step in and regain the form that he had earlier, but the fact that he is here helps. Of course, the pressure still relies on Mans from the outside shooting.
Well, Steve Smith is their all-everything. He leads the Spartans in assists, rebounds, and scoring. He's second in block shots. I'm sure that they feel that they've got to get him off early, get his confidence going, and hopefully the hand will not have a problem. He's still playing with an apparatus on it to protect it, but he came up with 3 big three-point shots the other night in their win versus Iowa.
Well, it's going to be a good ball game. We invite you to stay with us, Michigan State and Illinois. It's all coming up next on Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. Rick Kelser speaking to you from Champaign, Illinois. The public address announcer, Rick Atterbury, is in the process of introducing the starting lineups for these two teams, so we'll join him now for the balance of those introductions.
Michigan State, a 6'6" junior from Detroit, number 21.
A couple of veteran coaches involved in tonight's very important Big Ten Conference game. Michigan State trying to move its record to 4-0. Very important to the Illini. They have split 4 games today.
I don't think this is really where the Illini felt they'd be after 4 games in the conference at 2-2. This is a team, though Michigan is favored to win the conference, this is a team that really felt that with the people it had coming back along with the new people, that they would be able to seriously challenge for that title. They lost a game on their home floor the other night. As you look at the team stat comparisons, Michigan State shooting 51%, Illinois struggling at 47%. They feel as though they've got to win their games at home. They let one slip away the other night versus Michigan, but still a long way to go in the Big Ten. They feel like this is a big game tonight against the first-place Michigan State Spartans. Or should I say the unbeaten Michigan State Spartans. They are half a game behind Purdue.
Michigan State, of course, been a bit of a surprise. They have won on the road, a big victory against Wisconsin. They've won at home. This probably will be the toughest test on the road to date for MSU. You can see the Spartans a half game back of the Boilers, followed by Ohio State, Michigan 2-1, Indiana and Illinois splitting 4 decisions, and Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Northwestern. Michigan got itself in a pretty good spot with the victory against Illinois here on Monday night. And they did it, the Wolverines did it with solid play on the boards and sound defensive play. And that's really the recipe that Michigan State must use tonight.
They've got to use that, but one thing Michigan was able to get away with the other night was 20 turnovers. It's very, very rare that a team can come into Assembly Hall, commit 20 turnovers, and leave with a victory. But, again, Michigan did play that sound defense, limiting Illinois to just 40% shooting, and they out-rebounded the Illini 31-21, and that was a big key, and certainly Michigan State, as you mentioned, Larry, will look to do the same thing tonight.
For the season, Michigan State has out-rebounded its opponent by an average of 11 a game, while Illinois has outboarded its opponent by an average of about 7. We are ready to go as Matt Stegiga steps into the center circle. He will represent the Spartans as Marcus Liberty, the talented freshman, stands in, and here we go. Jumper by Mans is in, so the first shot drops, and the Spartans are in front quickly.
Not a bad way to start if you're on the road. Kirk Mans, he's already matched his total for 2 games last year.
Bardo moves it across to Andy Kaufman. Inside it goes. Here comes Liberty. Jump shot is in. Marcus Liberty, the junior from Chicago, had 13 points against the Wolverines, and Illinois shows full court pressure to open the ball game.
And look who's guarding Steve Smith. They got Kendall Gill on him, a very good defensive player, long arms, likes to flick at the basketball, as well as Bardo.
Mans kicks it way outside to Steve Smith, who has just a piece of tape and a little bit of a split on those final 2 fingers on the left hand after having a double-double, after having a pretty good brace on those fingers last week.
Illinois that time playing very sound defense. They are a sound defensive team. Michigan State, again, has to be patient. 45 seconds on the shot clock is a lot of time. They've got to take it down to maybe under 10 if necessary.
Steve Bardo outside, moves it across to Gill, kicks it back outside to Liberty. Liberty with a nice move on Hickman, drives and scores. 4 points for Marcus Liberty, and the Illini are in front.
Liberty putting the ball down on the floor, going to the basket, has great touch for a player 6'8".
Steve Smith looking over toward the Spartan bench. Judd is up shouting some instructions. Stegiga over the top to Redfield. Blocked outside. Grabbed by the Illini. Here they come. Kaufman stops, puts it up. Partially blocked. Grabbed by Steve Smith of MSU. Mans in the corner. Back to Smith. Cross-court Redfield. He's got a 3-pointer. Bounds long and pulled down by Stephen Bardo.
I tell you, one thing Michigan State inside people can ill afford to do, Larry, is mess around with the basketball when they get it into the post. They've got to be very, very quick with their moves because Illinois will double down. And again, living off the turnover, they'll reach in and try and cause those little turnovers.
Gill outside, takes a look inside, feeds to the right to Liberty, inside to Jones. Randy Jones, first 2 of the night. Transfer from New Mexico Junior College.
You know, I really expected Michigan State to double down on Illinois' big people in the post a little more than they're doing right now. forced the Illini to prove themselves from the outside, something they had a problem with the other night.
Illinois in front by 4. Mans to Smith. Stegiga working inside against Liberty. Now moves out. Here's Smith down the lane, partially blocked, knocked outside, grabbed by Stegiga. He feeds inside, jumper by Hickman. And Smith is hammered as he tried to go up following the rebound. The first personal foul of the ball game will be assessed against the Illini.
Something the Spartans have to have. Tenacity on the offensive glass themselves. They've got to be able to get some putbacks, and you'll notice that on occasions, Illinois, they will front the post people for Michigan State, which lends itself to good offensive rebounding if you're Michigan State, if you're active.
Fouls on Coughlin, his first. Steve Smith will shoot 2. The officials side are Jim Burr, Steve Welmer, and Eric Harmon.
You know, Steve Smith, in addition to having that problem with the broken finger, he's been battling the flu the last couple of weeks and lost some 15 pounds off of a frame that wasn't that big to begin with.
Yeah, he really can't afford to lose very much off of it. Judd was asking his diet and then found out he had the flu, and he said, I don't think that's the way I want to go.
Not the way you want to lose weight, I don't think, especially in a conference as rough and physical as the Big Ten, where every pound counts. Michigan State going to get another shot there as Kaufman leans into the lane.
Yeah. 6-3 the score.
You see
Illinois in front.
Somewhat of a distraction there if you're shooting.
And missed again, but the rebound is grabbed by Redfield. He scores.
Michigan State on that possession getting 3 offensive rebounds. Spartans are in a zone now. I'm sure that's to maybe limit some of the inside effectiveness of Illinois. Make the outside shooters prove themselves.
Randy Jones double team, kicks it off to Coughlin, who backs away. Cross court to Gill, and he is fouled. It'll be charged against number 21, Steve Smith, his first.
Smith didn't think that he had committed a foul there. He's just looking to keep his hands active as well. He's a player that can get some steals on the inside for the Spartans.
Coughlin from the corner, Kansas. 8-5 Illinois. Played about 3.5 minutes. Smith working against Gill in the backcourt. Stegiga sets the screen. Smith goes flying by to the baseline, and he is fouled. It'll be the second team foul against Illinois.
Interesting substitution for the Spartans right now. Little used Jesse Hall's coming into the game. Strong player. They're going to look to play him a little bit at forward. He's going to replace Hickman. So that really takes some of the size away from the Spartans. But they're hoping that Hall can give them a big night. Had a big week in practice, and he's from the Illinois area. So this is sort of like a homecoming for him.
Offensive foul is called. So Redfield picks up the personal.
You see Redfield trying to take the baseline, and it just wasn't there. However, I'm a little surprised at that call. Not a whole lot of contact there.
8-5 the score. You mentioned Jesse Hall being from Illinois. He is from Venice. He was the Illinois Class A Player of the Year about 3 seasons ago.
Jesse Hall's a player with explosive jumping ability. He can really get up in the air. He's had some problems at the guard spot, handling the ball, that sort of thing. So you won't see him with the ball in his hands a whole lot.
Nearly 4 minutes expired in the opening half. Illinois in front, 8-5. Bardot to Gill in the corner. Brings it out. Shadow out to Bardot at the free throw line for a jumper. Grabbed by Gill. He went high in the air.
So, talk about jumping ability.
I'm telling you.
You got a demonstration of it there.
Jones with a follow away. Kicked in by Marcus Liberty. He has 6 points.
Talked about it in the open. Michigan State has to block out. Their Illini, they crash the boards as good as anyone in the country. Second shots has been their forte on the year.
5-point Illinois lead. Smith gets the screens, got an 18-footer. Long rebound. Hall clears. Backs in. Turns. Puts it up. man off to the right. He got it. Redfield had it back, knocked away and out of bounds by Gill. It'll be Michigan State's ball. Time has been called. We'll be back with more from Champaign after this message from Anheuser-Busch.
Come share the spirit.
The authority of the Big Ten Conference Incorporated and is intended solely for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express prior written consent of the Big Ten Conference is prohibited.
Already, Larry, Illinois has 8 points in the paint. And I think that if you allow them to continue to get the ball in the paint, it's going to be very difficult to win on this floor. Michigan State right now just not getting the shots that I think they wanted. Certainly not the shots they worked on this morning in practice.
Stagniga in, got 2. Nice speed underneath, and the Spartans pull within 3. 10-7, Illinois in front.
Michigan State in their zone.
Kaufman outside, whips it to the right to Bardo. He's looking inside for Jones, can't hit him. Now Kaufman on top against Mans, moves it around to Gill.
Illinois will be patient on offense as well. They like to get what they want and not necessarily what the defense will give them.
Foul was called on Gill for use of the elbow, an offensive foul, and that cancels the basket as Gill picks up his first personal, the 3rd team foul against Illinois. So Kirk Mans brings it down. The Spartans trail by 3. 14 and a half minutes left in the opening half.
Kirk Mans has attempted just 1 shot. Kaufman, a forward, is guarding him, and I must say he's doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball out of Mans' hands.
Kaufman right there. He's 6'6", pretty big man. Dumped off to Smith. Short. Hall tips it to the side, out of bounds. It'll be Illinois ball. So the Illini will bring it down, leading 10-7.
I really think that Michigan State they've got to free Mans up for some shots. If Kaufman is going to guard the net closely, then they've got to go to the plays that will call for Mans to get a screen, perhaps a double screen down low.
Goes inside to Jones, kicked around. Jones digs it up, puts it inside, fouled up by Smith, and a hell ball is called as he and Gill tie each other up. The ball will belong to Illinois. Coach Bardo will toss it in for the Illini.
You know, one thing I noticed when the Michigan State Spartans played both Iowa last week and Ohio State, both of those opponents were able to get the ball inside with relative ease. They just did not convert once they got it inside. They can't let that happen continually tonight because the Illinois people know how to put the basketball in the net when they get it down low.
Smith moving in, whistle, foul that will not drop. Steve Smith will go to the free throw line. They'll shoot a couple for the Spartans as the foul is charged against Gill. His second.
It's going to be out of bounds. Wasn't quite in the act of shooting just yet, but so far Smith has looked pretty good putting the basketball on the floor. The Illini, as Ohio State and Iowa did, tried to send him to his left where he's dribbling the ball with his injured finger, but he's handling it well.
Todd Wolf into the game to replace Matt Stagniga for MSU.
Wolf's another player from Illinois. They're hoping that the homecoming will spark him as well.
Redfield over to Hall, drives, puts it up. He was partially hammered. Smith follows, and it's pulled off the boards by Marcus Liberty. We've played nearly 7 minutes in the first half. Illinois is in front 10-7.
You know, it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Randy Jones gets 2 to increase the lead to 5.
I was about to say, it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game because both teams are exercising a lot of patience on offense. And with the zone being played by Michigan State, the Illini are willing to work the ball around until they can get it inside where they like to have it.
They have T.J. Bowman assigned to Kirk Mans now. Bowman, a senior from Champaign.
Just looking at the shot clock, Michigan State has already taken 25 seconds off.
Mans tries for 3 and knocked out of bounds by Todd Wolf. It'll be Illinois ball. Each of these teams averaging in the vicinity of 80 points a game. But as you say, it's starting out slowly tonight. Kaufman to Bardot. Into the corner to Barnum, or Bowman rather. Out to Kaufman.
Bowman's a player that likes the up-tempo game. He can shoot it from the outside if he's left open.
Bardot is open. His first basket. 14-7.
The thing that they're doing well right now, when they move the ball on the zone, they're moving their bodies as well. They're not standing and waiting for the pass. They're making motion. They're creating motion, and Michigan State's not responding to that motion right now.
Randy Jones called for his first personal as Redfield was working on him one-on-one. It's the 15th foul against Illinois. Mark Montgomery will check into the game for Michigan State. Time has been called at Champaign. It is 14-7 Illinois leads. 11:41 left in the half. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. Greg and I will be checking out the Budweiser scoreboard at halftime for a look at all of the other Big Ten games in progress tonight.
There you saw Bardo getting his shot on the inside. Came off. Good ball movement. Illinois has got their point in the paint total up to 12. They're not taking a lot of outside shots right now.
Well, they haven't had the need. They've been so successful inside. Spartans will try to slow that down a little bit. They're down by 7. 11.5 minutes left in the opening half.
You look at Bardo playing that defense there. I mean, just great defensive anticipation. He almost makes his move before the offensive man dribbling the ball does. It's amazing.
Mark Montgomery working outside, feeds Steve Smith. Mann tries for 3, nope, and it's controlled by Andy Kaufman.
Well, Manns has had 3 shots now, but 2 have been hurries, and I tell you, that takes your accuracy down quite a bit when you got to hurry a jump shot. Manns is not a hurry-up shooter, nor is he a shooter with a lot of pressure in his face.
Smith is driving, he scored. That's his first basket of the night. Narrows the gap to 14-9. Dwayne Stevens in the game for Michigan State now. Where's number 31, a freshman from Ferndale. And Matt Stegninger will check into the next dead ball. Kaufman with a nice move, heads for the baseline, dishes it off, kicked out for Bowman. Underneath it goes. Small puts it up, knocks to the baseline, out of bounds. It'll be Illinois ball.
Again, did you see the movement of the basketball, though? Just great movement by the Illini.
Stegninger back into the game to give Steve Smith a breather.
Important period of the game right now for Michigan State. They're down 5. They cannot let that lead increase with Smith on the bench. And I'm sure he will not be on the bench very long.
Bowman tosses it to Kaufman. Outside it comes to Bardo. On the post to Small, double team, kicks it out to Kaufman, tries for 3, and cleared by Stevens.
That's what Michigan State wants to force. The Illini shooting just 30% on the Big Ten season, on the year, and just 25% on the Big Ten season from three-point range.
5 seconds expired as Mark Montgomery tried to break free, could not, and the ball is turned over to Illinois. There are the turnovers. The Spartans with 1 more than Illinois.
Not really a factor.
Nope.
Both teams handling the basketball very well. Take a look at the Illinois movement.
Kaufman is hammered as he went toward the lane. It'll be Crick Manns assessed with a foul. That's his first personal. 3rd team foul against MSU this half. Illinois will put it into play under the basket. Barnum will toss it in. Kaufman with a fake, works the line, puts it up and in. The basket will count, and he'll go to the free throw line. Andy Kaufman with a nice move to break himself free, a sophomore from Jacksonville, Illinois. Here's another look.
Just a moment ago, taking the three-point shot was Kaufman. That time gave a nice fake to get by his man. Went in, got a little defensive pressure, but moved his body well, avoided the offensive foul, and now he's on the line with a three-point opportunity.
He has been sensational at the free throw line. You saw the statistics. Number 1 in the Big Ten. And it's 17-9. 9:52 left in the opening half. Montgomery against Barnum, gets the screen, takes a look, feeds man, but can't get away from Marcus Liberty.
You know, Mans all throughout the game has been guarded by much taller people. As you see, Michigan State succumbing to the pressure of Illinois. Not only are they defending him well, they're defending him with tall people, and they're able to bother his jump shot a little more.
Steve Smith will be checking in at the next dead ball for MSU. Bardot over to Bowman. Air ball, and Redfield handles it for Michigan State. Redfield down the right side, off balance, put it up, not good, but he is fouled.
Redfield's been quiet tonight.
Bardot picks up the personal, his first. Redfield has just one field goal tonight. 16th foul against the Illini.
Redfield's leading this team, or excuse me, is second on the team in rebounding. Has been playing much better of late. And usually when he's able to score in double digits, the Spartans do win.
He ranks 5th among all Big Ten players in the rebounding category. 1 of 2 at the stripe, knocked outside, picked up by Bardot. Can't handle it cleanly, and he is fouled. Wow, that's on Matt Staggingay, his first.
Now, Michigan State spent a great deal of time in their shoot-around this morning on the free throw line. They figured that free throws would come into the play. And so far in this game, they've missed several.
Bardot outside, moves it across to Kaufman.
I tell you, the Illini, they move the ball well on the perimeter, but they do not want the perimeter shot. They want inside action, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan State really start packing that zone in.
That falls on Steve Smith, his second.
And Judd Heathcote's telling him, Steve, we don't need that. You play 45 seconds of defense. Michigan State had done it well for 24 seconds. You don't want to commit a foul at that point.
P.J. Bowman tosses it in to Steve Bardot.
Patience again by Illinois.
Bowman from three-point range.
Well, you know he had to make up for the air ball just a moment ago. He probably couldn't wait to get a little opening that would allow him to take a shot.
He's one of their big three-point threats, P.J. Bowman. That's his first basket tonight, and the Illini are in front by 10.
Bowman will not shoot the ball if a man is on him. Has good shot selection, makes good decisions. But if he's open, he can be effective.
Redfield dishes it off. Montgomery looks inside, back to Redfield. Wheeled underneath and takes for Smith, deflected, and went out of bounds into the Michigan State ball off Bowman.
That was just a case of Smith being open for a very quick second. It was going to take a threading of the needle to get that pass in there, but the Illini reacted well.
Time is out. The Illini are in front, 20-10 with 7:59. We'll be back in a moment.
Okay, it's
By Northwest Airlines, serving over 200 cities in 20 countries on 3 continents. In all they do, they want to be the best. Northwest Airlines.
You know, Larry, Illinois right now is on a 10-3 run, and MSU has missed on 7 of its last 9 field goal attempts.
And it has expanded the Illinois lead to 10. It's 20-10 with just under 8 minutes left of the opening half. There are the field goal shooting percentages.
Michigan
well
State
backed
shooting,
up,
just 26%. They felt that the winner of the rebounding battle would win the game, but and they both have 10 right now, but I would say that if Michigan State continues to shoot as poorly, they're going to get blown out.
Kaufman put it high on the glass. He is bumped when he released. Brought back by Redfield. His pass is intercepted. Kaufman doing a great job of controlling the ball. Lead pass on the left side of Liberty. He kicks it outside to Bowman. Inside intended for Jones, knocked away, and Bowman goes out of bounds with the Illinois ball.
Got to give the Illini credit. Right now, they're just the more aggressive of the two teams, much more confident I think a player like Kirk Mans right now, who has to score for Michigan State, has to take this as a personal challenge. Hey, these guys they've got it. He's got their respect. He's got their respect because they're guarding him with their best defensive people. But he's really got to take it as a personal challenge. Get the ball into his area where he's best and just drill some shots for the Spartans. They need his scoring.
Redfield moving in off balance, puts it up and it rolls in. Not a high percentage shot, but it went down.
Yeah, had his prayer answered.
20-12.
If you're the Illini, you just want to keep the pressure on. Keep getting it inside.
Liberty had himself.
State is going to allow that.
A little bit on the sloppy side right now.
Well, you know, the Spartans, they like to run. But it wouldn't surprise me to see them take the run completely out of their attack right now because they're turning the basketball over. They may just turn it into a half-court attack, a half-court situation throughout the remainder of this half.
Shot clock down to 20 seconds now as Illinois continues to look for that shot inside, knocked away by Smith, but chased down by Bardo. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Bowman, three-pointer. That's his second three-pointer of the night, and it's 23-12 Illinois.
Well, makes it difficult when Bowman hits shots like that because now it really loosens up the inside and it gives the Illini a chance to get what they really want anyway, and that's the inside play.
5.5 minutes left in the opening half. Smith down the lane, slammed off the glass, grabbed by Jones. Outlet right side to Bowman. Bowman change of pace, moves on Mans, kicks it off to the left side, and Bardo goes to the baseline. He's shut off. Now Bowman brings it out for a jumper. He's not. He's averaging only 4 points a game. He already has total 8 for the evening.
He's very quick. He's a small, penetrating guard. But right now, he's a small, penetrating shooting guard. Michigan State needs a bucket right now in the worst way.
You bet. Here comes Smith out front, and he is fouled as he put the shot up. He'll go to the free throw line. Just a reminder, we'll be choosing the Southwest Airlines Player of the Game following the conclusion of tonight's game. Got a few candidates right now. 25-12.
Yeah, and they're all wearing orange jerseys.
Unfortunately, for Spartan fans, this is true. Gagiga checks out, and so does Steve Smith as Hickman comes in. And Todd Wolf checks in.
Certainly not the strong Illinois team that they had last year that made it to the Final Four. That team had a superior front line. Hamilton, Anderson, Battle. And you lose those people and you feel like, hey, they're about to go through a major rebuilding situation here, but no, they're still one of the Big Ten favorites.
We have 4 minutes, 50 seconds left in the opening half. Steve Smith down the lane, puts it up and in.
He's taking over right now. He knows that they've got to get a charge from somewhere. They're running jeopardy right now, being blown completely out of here, so he's got to do more.
Brooks Taylor into the game for Illinois. He wears number 4. Ball goes to the corner, knocked out of Liberty's hands out of bounds. It'll be Illinois' ball. 25-15 is the score. Illinois in front. 4.5 minutes left in the opening half.
I'd say that if the Spartans can pull to within 6 by halftime, or anything under 6, then it's been a fairly decent half for them. They've not played that well.
Jones follow-away drop. He has 6 points. 27-15. These are important final moments of the first half. Michigan State averaging nearly 80 points a game, has just 15 so far in this one. Mans takes it down the lane, dishes off for Smith. Steve has really picked up the Spartans, but he's not getting much help right now.
No, and that time, interesting, Mans and Smith switched roles. Instead of Smith being the man with the ball looking for Kirk Mans, Mans is looking for Smith.
Liberty on the baseline, feeds Jones, semi-hook, came off to the right, put back under by Taylor, and put up by Jones. 8 points for Rodney. Again, the lead is at 12 for Illinois.
You talk about getting the basketball in the post. The Illini right now are getting it in the very, very deep post area, and it's nothing but a turnaround layup for them.
Blocked by Redfield. Great defensive play, saved 2. It might be a 4-point swing. Wolf, cross-court demands, and
I think he may have stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
I guess he did on the sideline. I think Michigan State got away with the travel earlier anyway with Wolf, so maybe just kind of even things up. 3:06 left in the first half. Illinois is in front. We'll pause now for a word from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network.
Illini now are starting to capitalize on turnovers. Early going, Spartans took care of the basketball well. That time, fortunately for the Spartans, Redfield got back and blocked the shots, but the turnovers are beginning to play a role in this game, and a fortunate role if you're Illinois. But the Spartans aren't taking care of the basketball. They're not patient on offense. And as I said, they had to get a good game from Kirk Means. They're not getting that right now. He's a player who's averaging 22 points a game in his first 3 Big Ten games, has just 2 points on the night.
Less than 3 minutes remain in the opening half. Taylor moves it across to Gill. Cross court, bad pass intercepted by Hickman. Brings it back for MSU, feeds man. Smith to Redfield. Redfield to Hickman. Tries to go down the lane. His shot is blocked on the floor. Picked up by Liberty. 3-on-1, and Taylor's shot is blocked, but a foul is called, and it'll be a charging foul on Brooks Taylor, his first.
A lot of action on that play as you got an opportunity to see the jumping ability of Jesse Hall. I mean, he can really, really get up in the air. Again, the turnover. One thing in the Michigan State scouting report, they've said that Illinois people, all of them, have very, very quick hands, especially when you get it into the post. You've got to turn, make your move. You can't play with it. If you do, it's going to be a turnover.
Redfield to Hall at the free throw line. 2:10 left in the opening half. Redfield almost had it stripped away, put it up, around, and out. Tipped by Redfield, grabbed by Hickman, not good. Tipped up, pulled down by the Illini. Outlet to Gill, hustles it down to the left side. Bowman, cleared by Smith. Oh, we got a big collision, and we got a foul charge on Redfield. Redfield and Jones went crashing to the floor. I thought for a moment as though Jones may be injured. He was not.
That was a major league collision. Both players coming down hard, but they both jumped right back up. Neither hurt, fortunately.
The third personal on Ken Redfield. Matt Steginga back into the ball game to replace Redfield for the final minute 47 of the opening half. Randy Jones goes to the free throw line for the first time tonight. He has 8 points, which matches his average. Steginga controls for MSU. Smith against Taylor. Smith goes flying by for 15-footer. He was fouled by Taylor. 2 quick personals on Brooks Taylor, the freshman from Chicago. And Smith will go to the line to shoot a couple.
You have to be impressed with Smith and his willingness at this point to just take the game into the hands offensively for the Spartans. But his shots are not the best shots either right now. They're forced. The Illini are doing just a very, very good job. A well-drilled team in the art of one-on-one defense.
Steve is 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Has 9 points for MSU. Spartans trail by 11 with 1:34 left in the opening half. And Steve hits the second. That'll be Mark Montgomery checking in, and Smith will sit out the final minute and a half of the opening half.
Yeah, with 2 fouls, obviously Judd Heathcote does not want to see Smith with his 3rd foul. He's got to be on the floor if they're to have any chance of winning this basketball game tonight. Michigan State really, really active in that zone, and they're really pinching it in. But the Illini are responding from the outside.
Andy Coffin with his first three-pointer. That 3 3-point shots canned by the Illini tonight.
They're a threat from the outside, and you have to be.
Yep. Ball was kicked by Montgomery as he tried to put it into a teammate's fans. Play was whistled down. It'll be Illinois' ball.
You know, Montgomery, he was receiving plaudits last week because he was taking care of the basketball, was not turning it over. Did a fine job against Wisconsin in the Big Ten opener for the Spartans, played 30-some minutes, and created just 1 turnover in that game. But so far in this game, in just limited minutes, 2 turnovers.
Stevens back in. Montgomery takes the breather. Kaufman kicks it off. Taylor in the right corner. His pass deflected by Hall. Picks it off. He's got Mans. Feeds Mans. 3-on-2. Mans all away. No good. Taylor with a rebound. Hall steals away, and he is fouled.
Jesse Hall's into the game, making things happen. He's blocked a shot. He's been active on the offensive glass. That time came up with the steal. Kirk Mans just trying to get something going here. He's having a very tough go of it in the first half, but there you see a very, very active Jesse Hall.
Fouls on Taylor, his third, and Jesse goes to the line for 2. (32-20), Illinois in front. Todd Wolf is in. Mans is out for MSU with 38 seconds left in the opening half. Bowman and Taylor go out. Kendall Gill has returned.
You know, coming into this game, Jesse Hall had played just 39 minutes on the season. And those are his first 2 converted free throws. He's had an impact here in the little time that he's been on the floor.
32-21, Illinois in front.
No shot clock. They'll take it right down to the final horn. Spartans, what they have to guard against here is a 3-point shot. You certainly don't want to go in at halftime down 14.
Jones got him. Rodney Jones, a fine first half. He has 10 points. Hall hustles it up the floor. And it's lost out of bounds at the horn. So Michigan State unable to respond to Jones' jumper. And the Illini have the lead as the 2 teams head for the dressing room at halftime. Illinois in front by 13. It's 34-21. We invite you to stay with us. You are watching the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network.
Look at the turnovers. Michigan State has 12, and they are starting to result in Illini field goals. Now, Michigan State is winning the battle of the rebounds, but when you shoot 30% and you turn the basketball over, you're really, really hurting your chances to get a road victory.
We talked about the individuals, Kendall Gill and Kirk Mans with just 2 points between them. Mans only took 4 shots, hit 1 of them from 2-point range. And Kendall Gill put the ball up only 1 time in the first half.
Only 1 time, but again, the Illini really have not needed Kendall Gill. When he gets it, he's covered. He has the respect and the attention of the Michigan State Spartans. They're taking him out of the game. But Illinois has other people that they've been able to go to, and most notably, P.J. Bowman off the bench. Now, Michigan State, their big player scoring-wise, Kirk Mans along with Steve Smith. Steve Smith is doing a pretty decent job, but Mans has the score. He's got the attention of the Illini, but they've taken him out of the game. And I think in order for Michigan State to win, he's got to get some shots up, some quality shot attempts in the second half.
Well, we'll see how it all works out. We invite you to stay with us. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. It's 30 Champaign, Illinois. The home team is in front 34-21 as Michigan State puts it into play to begin the second half. Ken Redfield handle it, looking back door for Steve Smith. Here's Mans from outside, rolls off, and a foul is called. Steve Smith and Randy Jones of Michigan State and Illinois, respectively, the only men in double figures in the first half, each had 10 points.
Again, a hurried shot by Mans, but he did get a better look at that shot than perhaps any of those in the first half. Michigan State going into the glass, trying to attack the offensive boards. They've got to continue to do that. They've got to continue to win the battle of the boards here in the second half.
The foul was called on Terry Hickman in case you're keeping score. Here's Bardo outside. Liberty Working against Hickman. Turnaround jump is in. Marcus Liberty with 8 points. 15-point Illinois lead.
Liberty in the first half was 3 of 4 shooting, and he shot that ball with ease despite the defensive resistance.
Staginga working hard, gets 2 as a result. 36-23. Illinois in front. 1 minute into the second half. Gill is shut off, and a blocking foul is going to be charged against Ken Redfield, and that's bad news. That's the 4th personal on Redfield. So the Spartans go to the bench.
Gill very quick at putting the ball on the floor, going to the hole, likes to drive that baseline. Redfield has to be aware of that. But now, as you mentioned, he's going to spend some time on the bench. Jesse Hall back into the game.
Liberty at the baseline, puts it up, bounces long, foul inside.
It's going to be on Bardo. You know, Bardo is the 2nd leading rebounder on this team behind Liberty. He's averaging almost 7 rebounds a game and does a very good job of going to the offensive glass. I noted in one of my keys to the game for Michigan State that they had to do a good job of blocking Bardo off, and they have.
He picks up his 2nd personal. He had a career high of 20 points against Michigan. On Monday night, he had 7 rebounds in that game. He had a sterling performance. Hall in the corner, takes a look, stops, feeds, Manns over the screen, got him. 3-pointer for Kirk Mann.
Well, that should go a long way in improving his confidence. He's got to continue to.
Gill went flying over the top, was fouled. That'll be on Matt Staginga, his 2nd.
You know, Gill has very, very long arms, but kick in the fact that he gets up in the air extremely well, and it makes him just a very, very difficult player to stop. You got a shot at his arms. I mean, this guy, his arms are almost down to his knees without bending.
That's the first point of the night for Kendall Gill. He's been averaging 17.5. Todd Wolf will come in for Michigan State to replace Staginga.
You know, there was a professional basketball player for the Boston Celtics, Don Chaney, coach of the Houston Rockets right now, who's the same size as Kendall Gill, 6'5", had very, very long arms, and it really made him a top defensive player in the NBA for like 12 years. And Gill does a good job playing defense because of his long arms as well.
Smith working against Gill, goes in for a 15-footer, a line shot, and he got it to drop.
Oh, man, it was on a clothesline.
So the Spartans have narrowed the lead to 9.
They look to be a little more comfortable, especially when they get the ball on the offensive end.
A foul has been called for pushing, and it'll be against Illinois, and I'm not quite sure whether it was against Gill. I believe it was.
Well, you see, Liberty's really, really spreading out, trying to get offensive position, and I'm not so sure I saw a foul there either. You know, this is the Big Ten where they're supposed to let you play.
There have been more games that have been played without as many close calls as this one. Another 3-pointer for Kirk Mann. So he's starting to light them up, and the Spartans have narrowed it to 6, 37-31.
Something I think he's doing a much better job of this year, and that's when he can't get the pick, he's able to free himself for a shot. That time, just a little step dribble, loosened the defense up on Manns, and he was able to get enough room to get his shot off.
Steve Smith picks up his 3rd personal. Personal fouls may be a problem before this one's over for MSU. Redfield already has 4, and Smith now picks up his 3rd. Steven Bardot will go to the line to shoot 2. Bardot was named the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Season a year ago.
And, you know, surprisingly, he's only shooting 67% from the free throw line. Had his career high just 3 nights ago versus Michigan, 20 points.
Gets 1 of 2 this trip. 38-31, Illinois in front. Nearly 3 minutes into the second half. Smith against Gill. Smith dishes it off. Manns tries to get it back to him. Loose ball. Wolf and Hall were scrapping for it, and they both knocked it out of bounds. It'd be Illinois' ball. Gill will toss it in. 7-point lead for Illinois. The Spartans had it down to 6. It was a 13-point spread at halftime. Jones slams off the glass. Smith went high to clear it for MSU. Nice move as he gets away from Gill. He feeds Hall, moving in, puts it up. No good. Hall gets it back. Jesse wheels it out to Todd Wolf. Tries for 3. No good. Cleared by Bardo. Bardo down the lane, dishes it off, and a blocking foul is called.
That's going to be on Stevens, the big fellow on the inside. Tell you, when Jesse Hall makes his move on the inside, it looks as though he's looking for contact, trying to find the defense and not concentrating on shooting the shot, and it's really hurting his effectiveness.
Hall leaves the game. Matt Steginga is in to replace him. That was the first personal on Dwayne Stevens. 16.5 minutes left in the ball game.
You know, the thing about the Big Ten now is all the games are seemingly competitive. Teams are never out of it. I mean, Michigan State in the first half on the verge of getting blown out. They're right back into this game. A tough one going on right now in Ann Arbor. Says a lot about the conference and parity, I guess.
Yep, it sure does. Matt Steginga picks up his third personal. P.J. Bowman, who was a star off the bench for Illinois in the first half, comes in to replace Andy Kaufman. Bowman collected 8 points, including a couple of 3-pointers for Illinois in the first half. Gill across the lane for a jumper, rolls in. His first basket of the night comes 4 minutes into the second half.
Well, you didn't think he was going to go scoreless, did you?
No, I didn't think we were going to shut him out.
No.
9-point Illinois lead. Bands moving in, a little fall away. It's not good, and cleared by Illinois.
Now that, excuse me, Larry, that is not his shot. Illinois doing a very good job of forcing him into just a bad shot for him.
Bardo to Liberty. Out in front. It's 10 points for Marcus Liberty. And Illinois is back in front by 11 after having fought off a bit of a run by the Spartans.
And talk about shooters, bounces.
Yeah.
Illinois just got 2 of them. First for Gill and then Liberty.
Redfield will check back into the ball game for MSU at the next dead ball. Smith. Steginga got 2. 6 points for Matt Steginga.
You know, Steginga is shooting 64% on the year. Probably should shoot a little bit more. And his 64% isn't the result of just layups. He has a decent jump shot.
Jones shot rims in and out. Smith grabs the rebound for Michigan State. Steginga to the baseline, puts it up, bounces long. Rebound by Jones. Long feed, Liberty, reverse layup. 12 for Marcus Liberty.
Judd Heathcliff's going to get a timeout, and I'm sure he's going to tell Dwayne Stevens, when you run down court, you've got to look back and locate the ball. That time, he never located the ball. Easy layup for Liberty.
The Spartans have fallen 11 behind. We'll return with more from Champaign after this message from Anheuser-Busch. We played in the ball game. Illinois saw its halftime lead of 13 cut to 6. But the Illini put on a little run of their own and now lead by 11, 44-33. It'll be Michigan State's ball. Ken Redfield, operating with 4 personal fouls back into the ball game, will bring it down for MSU.
MSU just 1 turnover so far this half.
Steve Smith, 3-point try, not good. Slammed out of bounds by Todd Wolf. It'll be Illinois' ball. You could hear a slap all the way across the floor. That's the reason the crowd is responding. They felt Wolf should have been whistled for a foul, but was not, and the Illini bring it down the floor.
No, we talked about getting points in the paint earlier.
Yep.
Well, the Illini, they've got 22, and Michigan State has just 10, and that's almost the difference in this basketball game.
Bardo gets 3 from the corner. 47-33.
What should I say? The difference on the scoreboard. 12 more points in the paint.
There's the final. The Wolverines in a cliffhanger at Chrysler. 90-88 over Ohio State.
That must have been some kind of basketball game. A lot of offense there if you like offense.
Randy Ayers has to be pleased with the way his club is performing despite some of those tight losses. Very competitive. Got a foul inside. It'll be charged against Illinois. And it is Randy Jones hit with his second.
Still, you really got to be impressed with the way the Spartans are hitting the offensive glass. And this against a much stronger Illinois front line.
Wolf was ready to shoot too, and Judd is not real happy. They're not going to give him the free throws. You can be a judge here as we take another look. Here's Wolf. They say he was fouled before he started up for the shot. And Michigan State has the ball.
Look at the way they hounded man. They weren't going to let him get one clean look at the basketball goal.
Redfield cleared by Liberty, and Steginger is called for a foul. That's number 4 on Matt. So personal fouls are starting to mount. Redfield has 4, Steginger has 4, Steve Smith has 3.
And Illinois is already in the penalty.
Yeah. A free tip to the other end, and Marcus Liberty will shoot 1-and-1 as the bonus rule goes into effect.
And I mean, they're into the penalty early. 13 minutes, 4 seconds to go in this game.
Parrish Hickman will check in momentarily. Liberty now with 13 points for Illinois. Barry Hickman comes in. Mark Montgomery comes in. Kirk Madds and Matt Steginger leave the Michigan State lineup.
Many people were wondering just how Illinois was going to react to having their 28-game home streak broken by Michigan the other night, and I'd say that they've responded quite well.
They've handled it very well, haven't they? Tough place to win when you're in here as a visiting team. Always a full house, always very noisy. Then it goes to Hickman, and he is fouled as he turned to go for the shot. He'll go to the free throw line for a pair.
Well, I tell you, when the ball goes down low, Michigan State is able to get the ball down low. It's almost like a suction. Illinois players just gravitate to the ball and make it very, very difficult for the postman to do anything.
Rodney Jones picking up his 3rd personal. Parrish Hickman at the free throw line for Michigan State to shoot 2. His first point of the night.
And Hickman's a player that has been playing very, very well for the Spartans in place from Kozlowski.
He hits 2. Irvin Small comes back into the game for Illinois, and he replaces Rodney Jones. That's the score with 12:45 left in the ball game. Illinois with the lead and the ball. Bardo gives it to Gill. Out to Bowman.
Spartans have got to limit Illinois to 1 shot now. They've got to make that a difficult shot. The blocking out is going to become very, very key now.
Blocked beautifully by Smith, but right into the hands of Kendall Gill.
You know, they reset the shot clock, and it wasn't supposed to be reset on that.
It sure did. The turnover gives the ball back to MSU as Redfield goes in for 2. That's Ken's 3rd basket of the night. He has 7 points, and MSU is just hanging in there. They're down by a dozen.
And that's the key, hanging in. But at some point, they're going to have to break the double figures barrier. They had it down to 6. They went back up to 14, but now they got a chance with a defensive stop here to get it back under 10.
Small bounce pass, Liberty reverse layup. 16 points for Marcus Liberty.
Give the Illini credit, though. They're fighting off every single Michigan State charge.
Smith with a 15-footer drops it in.
He's got a variety of weapons, doesn't he?
Yep.
First the line drive from that same distance, and then that time the rainbow. That's an interesting matchup. Gill at 6'5" on Smith, 6'6".
Gill kicks it out to Liberty. He returns to Gill for a fall-away. Bounds long, grabbed by Barno. Knocked out of bounds and the Michigan State ball. Get a substitution for the Illini. Andy Kaufman will check in, but time has been called. We have 11 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the ball game. Illinois is in front by a score of 51-39. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. 11 minutes, 7 seconds left in the ball game. Illinois leads Michigan State 51-39 at Assembly Hall in Champaign. This missed. Wolf coming by. Here's Mans for three.
I tell you what, someone really missed an assignment that time, because whatever Judd diagrammed it during that timeout certainly worked. Kirk Mans had more room on that shot than he's had the entire evening.
He made a count. He has 3 3-pointers for the evening. Total of 8 points for the night. Offensive foul is called on Stephen Bardo, his third.
Big play by Redfield, because Redfield has 4 fouls. So that was just great defensive anticipation and good defensive movement by him.
Brooks Taylor into the ball game now for Illinois as you take another look.
You watch Redfield not giving an inch, and Bardo dipping his shoulder and pushing off just a bit.
Taylor replaces Bardo in the Illinois lineup. As we mentioned, Andy Kaufman had checked in at the last dead ball. He is hounding Mans now. Now he switches over to Wolf.
Well, when Michigan State was able to break that lead down to 6, they did it via the three-point route, and Mans had 2 of them.
And Smith just missed in a bid to further narrow the gap. Here's Gill. Gill moving in, got away with one, knocked out of bounds, Illinois ball. P.J. Bowman will check back in for the Illini. Little guy had a big first half. Came in and hit a couple of big three-point plays. Kaufman goes out. Taylor's pass intercepted, but lost out of bounds by Todd Wolf. It'll be Illinois' ball.
Michigan State more active defensively here in the second half.
Doing much better job.
And they've got the lead down to 9, of course. As you said, just hanging around. What you really have to do on the road, give yourself a chance to win it in the end. You at least want to be in that position.
Gill down the lane, a beauty. Well, those long arms coming into play are sticking out.
Thank you. Long arms and big hands. Uses either hand very well.
Smith trying to move inside was fouled. Brooks Taylor is nailed with his 4th.
You know, Steve Smith has those herky-jerky type moves. You see a big 6'6" guy handling the basketball that far out, you figure, hey, I can put some pressure on and make him turn it over. But Steve handles the ball very well, and those herky-jerky moves is enough to loosen the defense up on him and allow him to penetrate.
Mans has it knocked out of his hands by Gill, but Kirk retrieves it, gives to Redfield. Mans, nice move, goes to the free throw line, off balance, scores! Tough shot for Kirk Mans, and the Spartans have it down 53-44.
He's having a much better second half, as Mans. It's all about believing in what you can do, and Kirk Mans is the best shooter. Not the best scorer, but the best shooter in the Big Ten.
Liberty got 2 back, and it is an 11-point lead now for Illinois with 8:54 left in the ball game. Smith down the lane, nice feed to Redfield. A foul was called, however.
It's going to be a three-point play, three-point opportunity, and give Steve Smith all the credit in the world for that play. I mean, he just broke the defense down. Penetration causes all types of problems on the inside for any defense. Handed Redfield a give-me. Tremendous. Did you see all of the attention that Smith was able to attract? And it really opened up the lane for Redfield.
And he converts a three-point play. He has 10 points, and the Spartans have cut it to 8. 8:40 left in the ball game. Gill against Wolf. Stolen by Steve Smith. Lead for Redfield all the way, and it's ripped out of his hands and out of bounds by Taylor, who just picked up his 5th personal.
But Taylor, give Taylor credit. He hustled back. And maybe not so much credit to Redfield as he seemed to relax instead of really exploding to the goal.
But Taylor leaves the game with 5 personals. Lou Henson is up. Has not made a substitution yet. Dave Mueller will come into the Michigan State lineup, the senior from Racine, Wisconsin, and he'll give Steve Smith a little bit of a breather. It's going to be Andy Kaufman to replace Taylor for Illinois.
Look for Smith to be right back into the game. This is just an opportunity for him to get a real quick blow. Still probably suffering from the last few days with the flu. But he's really making a nice comeback.
Ken Redfield. Very big free throws for Michigan State as the Spartans have it down to 7. They had it at 6 earlier in the second half after trailing by 13 at halftime. Well, Redfield cans them both. He has 12 points, and Illinois' lead stands at 6.
And now the crowd will obviously get into it to try and spur the Illinois Fighting Illini on. They need a bucket right now. Michigan State needs another defensive stop.
A miss or a forced turnover. Here's Liberty. Oh, what a great shot.
Well, you know, he turned around and he saw Dave Mueller on him. Mueller certainly cannot stay with him out on the open floor, but he did a pretty good job and forced him into a very tough shot.
That's 20 points for Marcus Liberty.
Turkmans, he wants a screen from Hickman.
Bowman sticks right with him. Redfield to the baseline, has it, demands for a fall away. Very short rebound, however, by Hickman. Scores!
Hey, that's just being active. You know, Hickman talked to me today about another player in the NBA, Dennis Rodman, and what makes him so effective. And I said, hey, just the fact that he's so very active and he's quick to the basketball. That time, he showed just those same attributes.
Got away. Grabbed by Hickman. Spartans can cut it to 4 this trip, or less. Redfield penetrates. His shot is blocked. Wolf saves it. Feeds Redfield. Launches. Got him! A 3-pointer.
Oh, man. You talk about momentum swinging.
It's down to 3.
Now.
6:48 left in the ball game.
Woo! Some ball game, huh?
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Bowman to the baseline. Liberty knocked out of bounds, and a foul is called. It'll be on Dave Mueller. His first personal.
And here comes Smith and Stiganga back into the lineup. Smith with 3 fouls, Stiganga with 4. Here you see the reach in by Mueller.
Mueller leaves the ball game. Redfield checks out. He'll get a little breather.
The Michigan State Spartans wanted to be very physical with that man right there, Marcus Liberty. He doesn't like a lot of contact, and Mueller was the guy to do it.
Knocked out of bounds by Smith. It'll be Illinois ball.
Dave Mueller, if he can't do anything else, he can't be physical.
Yeah, he's big enough. He is 6'9", 230. Time is out. That's the score. Illinois in front by 3. 6:35 left in the ball game. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Sound in Champaign, where 16,037 have gathered for tonight's Big Ten game.
And you see Dave Mueller forcing Liberty into that very tough, awkward hook shot, but Liberty, with such athleticism, was able to get it down.
6:35 remain to be played in the ball game. You can see the board. Michigan State has taken over offensively on the boards here in the second half.
And it's almost as if the team's winning at halftime, switched uniforms. Illini looking very comfortable, in control in the first half. Michigan State much more comfortable, much more in control. They have a chance to narrow that lead down to 2 or 1 here in the second half.
Good defensive play by Kirk Mans, kept the pressure on for the 5-second count. Results in a turnover.
Michigan State on a 21-8 run to get back to within 3. And I said 2 or 1 point lead, they can actually get a 2, break it down to 1, or tie it up.
But they turn it over as Gill sneaks in, grab the ball, then bounce it on the sideline, and MSU gets it right back. They really can't afford to turn it over this trip. They get it down to 1, and you never know what'll happen then, more or less.
Well, I think the turnovers by either team from here on out, 6:12 to go in this game, will be absolutely critical. Each possession very, very, very big right now.
Mans moves in, feeds Steginger, his shot is blocked.
Fantastic block by the Illini that time.
Randy Jones got the block, and Gill launches from long range. Liberty has it stripped away, but a foul is called. And Liberty will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Oh, first the pump fake, the penetration by Mans, and the nice dump off the Steginger. You've got to get rid of it quick on this play by hanging in the air. Jones was able to get up with his great leaping ability and block the shot. You know, Jones is a player that loves to block shots, and he goes for pump fakes. And maybe a pump fake that time by Steginger would have paid off.
Jones had 93 blocks during his 2-year career at New Mexico Junior College, where he really had a big career, averaging 24.5 points a game, 14.5 rebounds per ball game. Marcus Liberty at the free throw line. He expands the lead to 5, 59-54.
Excuse me there, that was a big, big turnaround there. Michigan State with a chance to get it down to 1 with the Steginger layup. They get the shot blocked instead, and now 2 free throws by Liberty, and it's back to 5.
Mans needs some help, kicks it out to Steginger, back to Mans. Boy, if Jones is right there with him, now they switch. Kaufman picks him up as he goes to the corner out to Redfield. Ken's working with 4 personal fouls, moves it off to Smith. Smith off balance, call for traveling.
Oh, Michigan State bench, they didn't like that call. And I think it was the bunny hop that got the call for the Illini that time, but I'm not so sure I would have called traveling in that situation. Let's watch it. You see the little bunny hop.
Tough call,
tough, yeah.
5:15 left. Illinois in front.
But you got to applaud the Illini defense. I mean, they switched on the ball screens as well as anybody in the country, and that's good when you got a player like Mans to be concerned with. Mans could not get any inch of daylight on that last sequence by Michigan State.
Liberty, tough angle, goes long, grabbed by Wolf. Todd dribbles it out of the heavy traffic. Look out, it's stolen by Liberty. Gives it to Gill. He runs right over the top of Steginger, picks up an offensive foul. 3rd personal on Gill.
I tell you what, Todd Wolf was just bailed out of jail, and that jail being Judd Heathcote's doghouse, by drawing that offensive foul. He turned his back, just a cardinal sin that time. Got the ball stripped, but Steginger with the 4 fouls alertly picked up the offensive foul against Kendall Gill.
So the Spartans are still within shouting distance. They're down by 5 with 4.5 minutes left. Smith, a change of pace all the way, missed the shot, and it's pulled off by Jones.
The Illini got numbers.
Kaufman all the way. The basket will count, and a blocking foul is called on Redfield. Tough break for the Spartans.
We got to see that one again on the replay, because it really, really looked like Redfield had established defensive position. The basket should have counted, but if that was a charging foul, or excuse me, if he had established position, Redfield, then that should have been a foul on Kaufman. Let's look at it. Now Redfield is set.
That looks
but
like
he moved
a charge,
a bit.
doesn't it?
He moved a bit, so I mean, it was a close call. And I guess if you're at home, you're liable to get those calls. Can't really I tell you, you really can't fault the officiating in this game too much. It's been pretty even and fast.
Yeah, it's been consistent all the way. Redfield fouls out. Total of 15 points. Andy Kaufman will try for a three-point play. Harry Hickman in to replace Redfield. 61-54 is the score. Illinois in front. 4:22 left in the game.
That's a big, big loss for the Spartans because Redfield gives the Spartans leadership. He rebounds. He's hitting his jump shot, and they really, really need him on the floor.
Andy Kaufman converts the three-point play, and the Illinois lead has climbed back to 8. Smith against Gill all the way, scores! He had a moment ago the same opportunity, and his shot came up short.
And is he tough to stay with? It's just the little head movement, the slightest gyrations by him when he's got the basketball that gets him open. And that's
just about killed him.
Second offensive foul. Excuse me, Larry, I'm running all over you. But Stegenga with 4 fouls, perhaps playing his best defense of the game.
Kaufman picks up his second personal. The offensive foul turns it back to Michigan State with 3:53 left. That picture is not upside down. That's just the way it looks. Time is out. 3:53 left in the ball game. Illinois is in front, 62-56. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. Our next Big Ten telecast, Steve Fisher's NCAA champion Michigan Wolverines take on Tom Davis Iowa Hawkeyes. For complete details on the station carrying the game in your area, check your local listings. That's Michigan and Iowa, Saturday night here on Raycom Sports. We have 2 minutes, 51 seconds left at Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. The Fighting Illini are in front of Michigan State, 62-56.
Well, I don't think it's any secret what the Illini will want to do, and that's get the ball inside to Liberty or perhaps Jones. Michigan State has to be aware of that, make it a very, very difficult shot attempt, but they cannot be oblivious to the three-point shooting capacity of the Illini. Worst thing that could happen right now would be to have them have an uncontested three-point shot.
15 on the shot clock. Liberty is fouled. LaMarcus Liberty, who has 22 points, will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for Illinois.
Well, they got it inside just where they wanted it. Liberty being guarded by Smith. Smith with the foul to hack across the hands.
Fourth personal on Steve Smith. Matt Stegenga playing with 4, and Ken Redfield is fouled out.
Well, now it's a situation where Michigan State has to have at least 3 possessions to get back into the game, to get back within a tie ball game. But with 2:34, there's plenty of time, but now they've got to score each and every time. They've got to get something.
Man's moving in off the Wolf. Stegenga. The Wolf, 30 on the shot clock. Man's dishes to Smith, partially blocked. Grabbed by the Illini. Here comes Illinois. Liberty in the corner. Back to Gill.
Smart on the part of the Illini. Liberty to pull it out, use the shot clock. It is their ally right now. I tell you, the Illini, they've come up with a couple of key blocks down the stretch here. First by Jones on Stegenga a few minutes ago. And that ball belongs to the Illini. It was tipped by Michigan State, I think.
I think it does, but they're going to give it to Michigan State.
Oh, they can use the break.
They need a few. John Zuloff has come into the game for Michigan State. Replaces Hickman.
How about that score?
Unbelievable.
The depleted Iowa Hawkeyes hanging in.
Foul is called on Wolf. A minute 42 left. Illinois in front by 8 with a chance to add 2 more to the total.
Michigan State wasting their possessions, that time not even getting a shot attempt.
Gill with just 6 points for the night.
But he's been effective in a lot of different ways as he's played sound defense for most of the night.
Smith got it hung up, dished it off to Mans, who misses the 3-point try. Smith follows, rolls off. Smith got it back, and then he is fouled immediately. And this will be assessed against Stephen Bardo.
Oh, Smith was determined that time to get that ball down. And the Spartans that time wasted little time in getting the shot attempt up that they want. Man spotting up from the 3-point area. But watch Smith inside. He gets one, goes up, it comes off, he gets another. And this is a player that's only 187 pounds right now, having lost 15 due to the flu.
Kirk Mans out of the game, and Mark Montgomery comes in. Stephen Bardo is fouled out. Leaves with a total of 6. 10-point lead for Illinois as P.J. Bowman checks in.
Well, Bowman, he's been very, very quiet in the second half. Michigan State shut him down, but certainly a big, big contribution, as you mentioned, in the first half.
Rodney Jones clears for Illinois, and a foul in the backcourt with a minute 23 left in the ball game. Well, you got to give the Spartans a whole lot of credit here. They have really crashed the offensive boards in this second half, and they haven't had a whole lot of luck. They've had 2 or 3 shots following claimed offensive rebounds that just haven't dropped. There's 6 points. That's a 4-point ball game, but if doesn't count.
Well, let me say this. First of all, the Illini, give them credit. They responded after the disappointing loss the other night. They came in, put that loss aside, and they played extremely well tonight. And Gill, he's making his presence felt here, where scoring-wise, he was not here in the first half. But getting back to the Michigan State Spartans, as you mentioned, if they had any doubts about themselves in terms of where they were as a team, I think this game should go a long way in letting them know that they are competitive in this conference and that they can play the tougher teams and play them even. And perhaps if they're not fortunate enough to win this basketball game, they will take that and use it in future games and maybe get themselves a win or 2 on the road where they perhaps would not be expected to.
And you know they'll be tough at Breslin Center with a big, loud home crowd with them. 1:13 left, another turnover. Kicked out to Gill. Flips it back to Liberty. It's sort of an icing on the cake for Marcus Liberty, who has 27 points tonight.
Yeah, it's fun time for the Illini now.
The time has been called with 61 seconds remaining in the game. Illinois has rebounded nicely against Michigan State and has opened a 15-point lead, 71-56. We'll be back in a moment.
She's all ours.
It holds court with 61 seconds remaining. Illinois bouncing back from a lead that had been cut to 3 and now lead by 15.
Well, Michigan State had the chance, as you see the Showtime reverse dunk by Liberty. Michigan State had the chance when they had it within 3 to get the score down to 1 or tied, and they weren't able to take advantage of those opportunities. But again, nothing to be ashamed of, and this final score certainly will not indicate just how tough a game this was for Illinois.
Michigan State in the first half shot just over 30%. Not a whole lot better in the second half. As you can see for the game, 36%. Here's Smith.
Wow, that's back at you there,
isn't it? 71-58.
It's going to be
foul on Todd Wolf.
tell you, Michigan State would have been in great shape if they could have called timeout before each offensive possession. They come out of the timeouts, and they go right through it and usually come away with positive results. That time getting it on the out-of-bounds play.
Kaufman is out. Tim Gears, a freshman from Chicago, in to replace him. Kendall Gill at the free throw line. Marcus Liberty has been the big scorer tonight. Kendall, after being scoreless in the first half, has bounced back nicely. He has 10 here in the second half. And Gill now adds another. 73-58. Steve Smith against Gill. Over to Mans, and he is decked. He tried for three. He'll go to the free throw line. Kirk Mans will step up to the free throw line for the first time tonight. They have been playing him like the proverbial glove this evening, but has not gone to the stripe prior to this tip.
This loss will drop Michigan State into a tie with the University of Michigan. The Illini will be tied with Ohio State, both at 3-2, and Purdue is sitting along up top right now at the big 4-0.
Hall comes in. Smith goes out. Steve's had a strong ball game tonight. He leaves with a total of 18 points.
He's coming back. Still not at full strength, but certainly I think this game you can finally say he's back.
They've needed him. They've done well without him, but they cannot continue in the victory mode without his presence.
Well, they're going to be looking to get Peplowski back in the middle, and though he's still not going to be at full strength, perhaps at all this year, just having him in there, his size, will give them some respectability in the post position, and certainly should help their rebounding game. He's due back maybe in a week or so.
Gears working outside against John Zuloff, who is called for a foul. Each coach making numerous substitutions at the last dead ball.
You know, in talking to Peplowski, just a very mild-mannered young man, very nice guy. When you talk to him, you can only wish him the best. Now, he's had some very, very disheartening and discouraging injuries. And I tell you, I got my fingers crossed for him. You'd like to see him with an opportunity to play.
Zuloff from the corner connects. But worked that hard from as serious an injury as Peplowski suffered. You got to be pulling for him. Knocked out about 73-62. Illinois in front. Final seconds about to tick away. Tim Gears will drop it in. Intercepted by Hall. He's got Montgomery, but doesn't feed him. He takes it all the way.
Well, he needed that. Jesse Hall should have given it up, but he needed to get that down.
The game ends on a winning note for the University of Illinois. 73-64 over Michigan State. The Spartans trailed by 13 at halftime. Cut the Illinois lead to 3 points, but ultimately settled for 73-64 loss, the first in the conference for MSU this season. Tonight's Michigan State-Illinois game has been brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By True Value Hardware Stores. Make True Value Hardware your store of first choice. By the Michigan State Lottery. The Michigan State Lottery supports education. It's time now for the Southwest Airlines Player of the Game. Tonight's player is Marcus Liberty of Illinois. He scored 26 points at 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Our congratulations to Marcus Liberty for being named tonight's Southwest Airlines Player of the Game. Well, that wraps things up for this evening. Again, the final score, Illinois 73, Michigan State 64. A reminder, Ray Lane and George Tommy will be in Iowa City, Iowa this coming Saturday when the NCAA champion Michigan Wolverines headed to Carver Hawkeye Arena to take on Tom Davis and the Hawkeyes. Game time is set for 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The Wolverines and Hawkeyes Saturday night right here on Raycom Sports. Now for Greg Kelser, this is Larry Osterman saying so long from Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. This has been a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Sports and the Big Ten Conference. So long, everybody.